Spulture Show in the Morning, episode 19 is underway. Welcome back. If anyone's watching, we're here. It's going to be a great episode. We're changing it up a little bit today. The Australian Open podcast is over, obviously, as the Australian Open's over. So we're kind of changing it up a little bit. We got an interview here today with Hirsch, an academy coach at the Cincinnati Tennis Foundation. He played at Illinois also, coaching some of the top juniors in the world, and also helping out with the foundation, that Cincy Tennis Foundation is currently running and helping make tennis more accessible in Cincinnati, which he will talk about more as we get into the interview. That'll be first. We'll end it with talking a little bit of sports. As always, this Spulture Show, we're not just keeping it to one thing. We got a lot to cover. But first, we're going to kick it off with Hirsch. He's going to tell us more about Cincinnati Tennis Foundation and his playing career, playing juniors and playing at Illinois. Here we go. All right, today here we got Hirsch. It's a good friend from juniors. He was a great junior, went on to play at Illinois, and now is doing big things with the Cincy Tennis Foundation. So we're going to get into that a little bit more, but today we're happy to have Hirsch here with us.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, for sure. I think the first question that we're going to get started with is, do you remember beating me 0-0 in Illinois?
I think you might have gotten a game, man. Don't sell yourself short.
No, it was definitely 0-0. It was you, Kumar, and Vincent Lin. You guys are the double 0-0s on.
I mean, those guys were next level.
Yeah, it's good company to be in for sure.
But yeah, man, I remember your journey as well, starting at Newcomb and being a grinder yourself. So you know the game too well.
Yeah, unreal stuff. So you're always a real good junior. I know you. Some of your highlights, you got a gold ball in doubles at Winter Nationals. You're obviously one of the top players in the Midwest, one of the top players in the nation. What was like kind of your highlight of junior tennis? What are some of the best things you remember about it?
It's funny because high school tennis kind of gets a bad rap. A lot of states don't have very strong high school tennis, and in Ohio itself, it fluctuates. But probably winning a couple state titles and getting a couple team state titles as well. Those are good memories to look back on for sure.
Yeah, probably people you grew up playing with too, from when you were young and everything, and then got to kind of complete the journey with them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, one of the finals was JJ Wolf, who's obviously gone on to do big things himself.
Yeah. Not a bad player for sure. Yeah. So do you think playing high school tennis helped you for college tennis? Just like at North Central, I played. Obviously, we had a lot of fans. Just our football team was terrible, so people came to the tennis matches. I don't know kind of how your experience was and if that helped you for going into college.
It's interesting. I think it did and it didn't in different ways. I think it did in the sense that you do get used to viewing tennis as a team sport, which is not something other than maybe playing zonals or team cup or whatever. And those are short week or weekend tournaments. Whereas the high school season, it's 3, 4, maybe 5 months. I don't know exactly, but it's cool being a part of that. But at the same time, a lot of states, Ohio included, they ban you from playing USTA events. You have school practice every day, and then depending on the level of your school's team, you might be stuck playing down for 3, 4, again, for however many months that season lasts, and it can also be a little bit of a reprieve from the seriousness of, traveling constantly, training and kind of playing against these really good national dudes. So it's a little bit of a mental break, but I think for at least myself, my actual level suffered every high school season. I probably dropped like half a UTR after every high school season.
Yeah, that's what I've heard for a decent amount of people. I was lucky I got to play with like JT Wynn and JJ Crute, so the best players in the state I was able to practice with. They're on my team, so I didn't
Yeah,
quite
North
have
Central is
that, but I know
strong.
like
I remember that.
Severe at Carmel and stuff, he kind of had that happen also.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Indiana's another strong state, especially back then.
Yeah. So the reason I asked that is I was watching one of your videos and I saw quite one of your videos in college playing at Illinois. Quite the fans, right? You guys got quite a big crowd for that. I just kind of want to go through this video and have you. One thing I've been doing is having people commentate a little bit. So I just want to
Sure,
see. Just want you to break down kind of what's going on in this video.
sure.
So this is a packed match here. Looks like Illinois. Do you know who you're playing? Just off by
Yeah,
looking
we're
at this.
playing Virginia. They were actually number one in the country at the time.
Unreal. And what were you guys? Do you know?
We were, I think at this time we were four, and it was a weekend where we had Virginia on the Saturday, and we played either number two or three TCU on the Sunday. So tough weekend for sure.
Tough. Yeah, yeah. Unreal. Yeah, two great teams for so let's roll the tape here. Just
Yeah. So
it's
you can
not
see here you have on that court right there, kind of the main one.
yeah,
You have Ty Kwiatkowski playing Alex Vukic actually on I think that's either one or two singles right
yeah.
there.
And Vukic is obviously top 100 player. He's played in the Australian Open and everything. And Kwiatkowski probably was top 150 or something, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
two beasts.
Yeah, yeah. All right, here we go. So it's not the longest point ever from you, but I think it was a pretty good one. All right, here we go. That's you on the orange on the last court, right? On
Yeah,
court three? Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Just a
So
big serve tee there and then a missed return. But kind of what do you remember from that and just
I
the
mean,
environment and everything?
I don't think I've ever been more nervous during a tennis match. This was probably 10 or 11 dual matches into the season, and I had yet to finish a dual match. So, first nine or so matches, all third set abandoned. So I'm looking for my first dual match win, basically. And
First time
um,
serving out a dual match or anything because you haven't finished.
exactly. And if you'll see earlier in the video, I have a couple when this is something I learned in this match. When I get tight, I can't toss. So there's probably three or four like missed tosses where I'm catching the ball, and I'm basically shitting my pants there. I mean, there's nothing more to it. Trying to grind out the W, and um, at this point, there's so much going on that I'm not even aware of how the other courts are doing. So I think I finished that match right there, and within a minute or two, Vukic closed it out against Kwiatkowski, and so I'm just putting my racket in my bag, and I look over, and the people are storming the court, and it's big celebration time.
Yeah, yeah, it was unreal tennis too. And Corintelli's like an unreal junior too. I mean, he was one of the best players in the country. Grew up at USTA and everything. So to serve that out as your first dual match win is pretty sick.
Yeah, it was a nerve-wracking but positive experience.
Was that like a normal crowd for you at Illinois? Like, did you
Um,
guys get a good crowd like that for most matches, or since that
we
was
we
like
put a
such a
lot
big
of
weekend?
emphasis
Yeah,
into we have what's called the Net Nuts, the Illinois Net Nuts, which is a great student-run fan organization. So we partner with them. Um, we'll do our best to make connections in Greek life, just anything we can do to get a rowdy environment. That one in particular was definitely a big crowd, but we regularly had pretty good showings from fans, which
yeah.
was an awesome experience.
You gotta love the old like pizza night and stuff too, like
Yeah,
free pizza for
exactly.
the top for students and stuff like that. That'll always
Yeah,
get them out. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
pizza night. We did that pretty often, and then we would have Coach Brad Dancer puts a big emphasis on kind of, for lack of a better term, like fan relations. So um, we'll it's not straight to the locker room after you finish your match. You're hitting with some of the net nuts. You're hitting with some of the kids of boosters or whatever for another hour or half hour after the match. So big emphasis on just those guys, that match in particular. Like they pushed us over the edge there for sure.
Yeah, and one more question about you before we get into the Cincy Tennis Foundation. Did you that was obviously a big match for you freshman year. You said you hadn't served one out or finished one yet. Was that so like, did you go into your freshman year expecting to play in the lineup, or did that kind of work out through the year, or how did that season go mentally, I guess?
That's a good question. We had obviously a really strong top of the lineup, but people would probably describe our 4 through 10 as potentially. It was basically there were 5, 6 guys competing for a couple spots. It's funny leading up to this weekend that we just showed. Coach Brad had a round robin with me and 3 of the other guys that were looking for, at this point, 2 spots. And I lost all of them. I lost all the matches. I was not expecting to play in this particular match. And then Saturday morning comes and Brad says, "Hey, Ash, you're in the lineup," which was mind blowing. These, but I'm sure we'll talk about this later, but it's really important to like be able to still come out and compete when you don't have a ton of confidence, when you don't feel like you're hitting the ball well, can barely even toss the ball in your serve. It's a big part of tennis, which I'm sure we'll talk about as we go on here.
Yeah. And so now, kind of just going into what you're doing now you're with the Cincinnati Tennis Foundation. And before we started recording, you were just telling me like you guys are based at the Lender Family Tennis Center where the Western and Southern is played, which is pretty sick. Is that still the Western and Southern, or it's
It's
Cincinnati Open now, isn't
Cincinnati
it?
Open now.
Yeah.
I think
So
Western and Southern's still a big sponsor, but not a title sponsor.
gotcha. And how's that been going? How long have you been involved with that? Kind of what's your role with that?
So our CEO is Matt Dectus, who was my coach from 8 years old on. So that's and him and Brian Schubert have been lifelong mentors to me. So ultimately, it used to be called EX Tennis Academy, and we were out of 5 seasons Cincinnati, which we still were up until recently. 5 seasons has now become lifetime, and
Gotcha.
around the sale of 5 seasons, and long before, we had been searching for a place to build our own indoor facility, basically. And we got lucky with the new ownership with the Cincinnati Open, BMO Capital and Ben Navarro, who poured a lot of money into the facility here. And those guys want action here all year round. So it was a really natural partnership for us to kind of move our whole program, which is now a foundation, to the Linder Tennis Center, like you're saying.
Yeah.
So that happened around late August. We've been here since late August.
And they built what, three or four indoor courts?
They built 6 indoor
Shit.
courts
Yeah, yeah.
and they built countless outdoor courts. I don't
Right.
even know
Yeah,
the
yeah.
exact
Just
number.
yeah, yeah. Do the kids get to hit on the stadium and stuff sometimes and like
Uh,
experience that?
we it's not super
Accessible?
convenient for like
Yeah.
it's not conducive to a great group product. We normally stay on the outer courts that are more connected,
Yeah,
but they
yeah, yeah.
can.
Right.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, if there's only two or something, but when you have a group, obviously
it's
it's
funny
not
without ball boys, like if you're in those big stadiums, like rally ends, you're walking, you're getting your steps on just retrieving the balls because
yeah,
there's
corner so far away.
exactly.
Yeah. And so the Cincinnati Tennis Foundation, what's your guys like mission? What's your goal? Like what are you guys kind of doing? What's the objective there?
No, that's a great question. We ultimately want to remove barriers to the sport of tennis. Tennis as a sport traditionally has been pretty prohibitive, whether it's cost prohibitive, whether it's opportunity prohibitive, whether it's a sport that you have to be able-bodied to participate in. So and this is for all levels, all walks of life. We have our community side, which I'll get into a little bit more, and we have our academy side. And both are heavily assisted by donations. So we do a lot of fundraising. We want to basically change how tennis as a sport is financed. So if you take a good 10-year-old junior and you want him to get to the college level when he's 18, between traveling, training, stringing, everything, that's going to run you about 400 grand over the course of those 8 years, which it's simply not doable for almost anybody.
Almost everyone. Yeah.
Exactly. So look, we have a great program on both our community and academy side where we will scholarship kids based on parents' financial status. We'll on our academy side, if you're blue chip, guess what? You're fully scholarshiped. If you're a 5-star, I think it's 75% off. 4-star, 50% off. So we want to, incentivize kids to reach their full potential and give them the backing to be able to do that, basically. But they'll send me to hard courts with and we had or clay courts, and I'm trying to think for 14s of the 128 draw, we had 8 kids in there. So
Right.
I go there as the academy coach for the week, and it's included basically.
Oh wow, unreal. So the kids aren't like paying for that. That's part of it and
It's
everything.
part of it.
Yeah, yeah, that's a great deal. So
Right.
that's awesome for those kids. I was gonna kind of get into that. You said you had all levels. So I know there's one kid in particular, Evan Fan, who's been doing Unreal. Final of Orange Bowl, final of Hard Court, semis at Easter Bowl. I'm sure many other results. I just saw he won like a Midwest Closed level 3 or something like that.
Yeah.
14s. Doing great. So how is his training there, and how are like some of the other kids? If you just want to give a moment to kind of highlight them, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, Evan's definitely a big highlight for the program. It's great. I mean, he started in our red ball intro classes, and so he's been with us since he was 6 or 7. Parents don't play tennis, so they're kind of getting immersed in this world, even though he's had great success. It's still a new thing for them. As far as his training, he, as well as some of our other really good kids, we do have a homeschool program. He goes to school full time. He comes here, trains after school. We have fitness here as well. He works with the trainer. Not much more to it. I mean, you mentioned he's had great success in those tournaments. He's looking for that big 12s title, singles, but he's actually I think he's won the last 3 or 4 doubles gold balls, including Orange Bowl. So he hasn't lost a doubles match in 12s in a year.
Yeah.
So doing great there. And look, when you get to that level, a lot of everybody kind of wants a piece of you, if that makes sense. So, which is that's our goal. He has had great success, and as a result, as of today, actually, he's on a flight to France to go train at Mortaglu Academy for a
Oh,
week
wow.
for free. So that's a good example of like how tennis can open doors for you and create opportunities. Like just Mortaglu aside, like how cool is it that he can go to France for a week for free?
Right. Right.
Um,
Yeah, that's an experience that most people don't get to do, and he's getting to do it for free and for tennis,
right,
and just getting to do it in general.
right. So
Yeah.
it's, I mean, we're proud of him. We're not done yet. I mean, he's just turning 13. He's got a long way to go,
Yeah.
and we something that people don't know about Evan in the tennis world is he's top 20 in the country in chess as well.
Oh wow.
So he's just a talented dude.
Yeah, yeah. Is there anything I work with some juniors here and stuff. Is there anything that kind of sticks out about him as a player or a person that sticks out that kind of helps him be the player he is?
Um, I mean, there's a lot. He's talented dude. The game comes easy for him. He, I think a big um common denominator um with these really good kids that you can just a lot of them it's apparent, okay, this kid's talented, but a lot of them are very open-minded and they don't get set in their ways of no, this is what's comfortable. He's willing to brace uncomfortability. So,
Yeah,
and that, like I said, that's a quality that a lot of these really good kids have
yeah.
is
And
they're always willing to learn. And it's apparent across his schoolwork. I mean, he's probably one of the best academic performers in his really big school. We talked about the chess. I mean, he goes from tennis practice for many hours a day straight to hardcore chess practice, like which I know much less about, but I imagine it's uh pretty mentally just yeah,
yeah,
it's a lot.
it's a hard thing too to remain coachable when you've had that success. I mean, he's only 12, but still when you once you've like gotten that far in big tournaments, it's easy to be like, well, no, this worked for me, or I feel like you're saying I feel comfortable hitting my forehand like this or whatever it might be, but to still be
Right.
able to like be willing to be uncomfortable and coachable and change things,
Yeah.
that's huge. That's
The
awesome.
challenge going forward is going to be look in it's normal. I mean, you see this with almost every kid to an extent is like when the game has come so easy to you and you're so used to success, how are we going to react when things get difficult? When we have to face real adversity, um, and be a real problem solver, where it's not just like, look, you remember the 12s. I'm sure you remember kids that were clearly superior tennis players at that time. I mean, not all of those guys panned out. Some of them by the 18s don't even play tennis. So, um, that's
Most of
we're
them.
at the beginning of the journey for him still.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so that kind of segues into the next question, I guess, is like, what's next for the Cincinnati Tennis Foundation? Do you guys is there anything you're trying to grow into, or what's the next steps for you guys?
Yeah, so we consider this kind of our north location up at the Cincinnati Open. We've been partnered with Withrow High School, which is an inner city high school, closer to downtown Cincinnati, where we've kind of called that our home for 5 or 6 years at this point, which is where we do a lot of our community work. We had plans to build 3 indoor courts there, which it's a long story. There was a Cincinnati public school vote that ended up being 2-2, and we couldn't get it through. So we're still looking for a location to build our south indoor courts. That's the big thing. We want to keep growing our community side of the foundation, which is, as we talked about a bit before, it's like our adaptive players, our inner city players, our um, visually impaired players. And we have coaches that aren't academy coaches. We have Coach Laura Overbeck, who I think last year she went into 37 schools. So she'll go to uh, St. Mary's Middle School or whatever and be the gym teacher for the day and have each class cycle in and they'll learn how to play tennis and
Have some phone
um,
balls and stuff.
foam balls, yeah, red
Yeah,
balls.
yeah,
And it's funny, not only the main goal is just to introduce these kids to tennis. The overwhelming majority have never touched a tennis racket when we go into these schools. And the awesome thing about that is over time, a lot of those kids that really in the one gym class really take to it, like they join our intro program, and a lot of them have, like, as the years have gone by, are now tournament players and like legitimate, they're going to be legitimate good high school tennis players. So it's fun to see for sure.
Yeah, it's funny. Like you said, not everyone has access to like get a tennis racket and like play tennis. But then I don't know. I remember in like middle school gym, we'd play tennis, and everyone's like, "Oh, I bet I can beat you." And then once they get out there, they like love it, right? They're like
Yeah,
spiking balls and stuff. But it's like just introducing them and getting people playing. I guess getting more people playing tennis.
no, for sure, for sure. And we, it's not just tennis. Like we she'll go into a school and do 2 Thursdays of tennis and the third Thursday pickleball. And having just joined her on some of these trips, it's fun to see like some of the kids love tennis. A lot of the kids love pickleball, but
Yeah, you
it's
can get a
cool to
rally going
introduce
with it
them to all aspects of racket sports, basically.
for sure. Yeah, yeah, they all go hand in hand. Do you guys do any pickleball there? Are
We
there pickleball
do.
courts or anything? Yeah.
We are actually going to be, because we're still new to Cincy Open. The courts themselves are still new. We're going to be closed for a week and a couple weeks just because they're going to be painting pickleball lines on the courts, which everybody has their own opinions on. But
Yeah.
um, it adds a lot of flexibility for us, like to coincide with the lines coming out. We're doing a pickleball fundraiser, which will be a great community builder. It's going to be a lot of good tennis players in the program and their families. So it's more of a internal community building event than like an actual, large fundraising operation, which we do quite a bit of during the year as
Yeah.
well.
This might be a dumb question, but do they resurface the courts every year at Cincinnati Open?
That is a
Do you
good
know? I mean,
question.
you're still new to
Yeah.
it, so yeah.
I can tell you that
They must
I
if
think
they're
the answer is yes. I think they're
yeah.
required to. They're going to paint them on the indoor courts. I think
Gotcha.
they're never going to be on the outdoor courts.
Outdoor. Yeah, I was gonna say they for sure
Yeah.
have to. Yeah, by August they're getting repainted.
And what's cool about the new owners, BMOC and Ben Navarro, is they truly want a great experience all around for the tournament, for us, the rest of the year. Um, so you'll, uh, and this is kind of a deep pool here, but last year the surface was back to the Hartrue surface, which these courts are fast and bouncy. Most courts that are fast, the ball isn't as bouncy. Slower courts are bouncy, right? So it's a weird mix where the ball really flies on these courts. But the year before, right, this is right when they took it over, the surface was this like Lakeold, I don't know how you pronounce it, kind of an experimental surface where I had never seen anything like it. The courts were almost reflective. You could almost see they were that shiny. And if you think back to the tournament, then it was bad tennis. Like the quality of tennis during the actual professional event, like, was bad. And you'll see, like, I brought some friends out to watch, and we're watching these players struggle in the warm up to get a 4 or 5 ball rally going. It was the first time Alcaraz had ever smashed a racket, and in the press conference, him and many others are talking about, like, this feels like a different sport just because of the service. So Navarro and the leaders behind the tournament, they took that very seriously and took action on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hope they keep it fast though. I always liked how it was kind of like just different. It was always one of the faster tournaments, I feel like. So it's
yeah, for
just like
sure,
a different surface than Montreal or Toronto and US Open, I felt like.
for
So
sure, for sure.
yeah.
These are
Is
definitely fast courts, still.
yeah, yeah. Is there anything else that you want to fuck. Is there anything else that you want to touch on that we didn't mention or
Man, look, just that one, I think what you're doing is awesome. Really, really pumped to be on the platform here. Um,
thanks, man.
and two, look, big things coming out of Cincy. We have a goal. We want to be one of the top 5 academies in the country. And a lot of these academies, that's their main focus. We have kind of a multi-pronged approach where we just want to grow the sport and we want to be the best at developing those that do get into it.
Yeah.
And we want everybody to feel like there's a place for them in the sport.
Last thing, real quick.
Yeah.
I mentioned Evan Fan, but I know there's a lot of other juniors that are there working with you guys. If you just want to take a second to kind of highlight some of them and
Yeah.
give them their moment of fame.
I don't want to leave anybody out. We have the Gojineni twins who are awesome. They're both blue chips, Vibas, hard courts, silver medal or silver ball finalist. She won the Midwest Closed 18s when she was 13. Um,
It's
we
unreal.
have
It's like Conrad Zeba.
Yeah, it's like Conrad's exactly. It's Tyler Gardner.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, man,
That's awesome though.
we
It's not just
have we
Evan
have
though. It's the
probably
point. There's
like
a lot of people doing big things with
yeah, we probably
foundation.
we have a double digit number of blue chips. We have countless 5 stars. I mean, we're
Yeah.
we're
All from Ohio.
all from Ohio. Yeah, all from
Awesome.
Ohio. Um, got our homeschool program going right now. They're on court right now. And yeah, we're just always building, always
Yeah.
building.
That's awesome, man. Is there anything anyone can do if anyone's listening to help support?
Yeah, I'd encourage them to check out the Cincinnati Tennis Foundation website, our Insta especially. Um, if you're we if you're a junior player, come down. We have juniors from all over come train with us for a week at a time or whatever it is. If you're a fan of what we're doing here, there's ways to donate. If you're in the Cincinnati area, there's ways to volunteer. Just uh, reach out, come and connect, basically.
Yeah, I love it. Instagram, Cincinnati Tennis Foundation.
It's I think it's Cincy Tennis Foundation.
Okay.
Yep,
I'll
Cincy Tennis Foundation.
All right. Appreciate it, man. I don't want to take much of your time, but we've already spent enough time. But thanks, dude, for real. Appreciate you
No,
coming
thank
on,
you.
and we'll be supporting Cincy Tennis Foundation for sure. Be
Hey,
following you.
appreciate it, man. Thanks for
All
having
right.
me on.
Yeah, thanks for the time, Asher. See you, man.
Hey,
Big thanks to Asher for taking the time to come on here. That's cool of him to take the time to be here. Known him for a while, known him since probably 12 or 13 or so. So it's cool to just get a little more background on what he's doing and catch up. It's been a while since I've seen him. So again, Asher, thanks, man, and we'll hear from you again, I'm sure. Good luck with your kids and everything that you guys are doing over there. For now, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's get into some sports today. This episode should be dropping before these games. I hope if anyone can hear this in time, that's great. We got Monaco playing. We're going straight to EuroLeague. That's the first event of the day. We got Monaco playing Zalgiris Kauna. I think that's how you say it. If anyone can correct me, go for it. Playing at 1 o'clock Eastern time, hour and 20 minutes from now. Underdog. They've lost 3 in a row. They got to get back to winning ways soon. Mike James is better than Sylvan Francisco. Argue with the wall. I like their chances to get back today, but hey, they haven't practiced because they can't pay their players. The league is basically about to buy the team. We got a Hornet situation. The players aren't going to practice. Daniel Tice on Instagram said that's cap. Who knows what to believe? Everything's up in the air a little bit in Monaco right now. Be careful of that one, but we got to root for our Monegasque friends. On other note, always talk about Panathinaikos, always talk about Real Madrid, Trey Lyles. I know you listen to this podcast. What up? They are playing against each other today at 2:15. That should be a good one. Rumor circulated this morning of Panathinaikos hopefully getting Yershant Gabuzele, whatever his name is, for a French guy who dunked on LeBron in the Olympics, played for the Sixers, plays for the Knicks. I had heard that he wanted to stay in the NBA to get his pension for 5 years. So not his pension, but benefits for his family for their whole lives, right? But I think he's only been 2 or 3 years, and now there's rumors of him going to Panathinaikos, and I saw Hapoel Tel Aviv is trying to get him. That would be huge for Tel Aviv. I still think they need more star talent on that roster. But Panathinaikos and Real Madrid should be a great game. Not sure who's healthy for Panathinaikos. Kendrick Nunn had been out recently. Chetty Osman had been out recently, two of their better players. They did have some Greek guard come step in who did unreal. They won one of the games, but they've been on a slump too. As I mentioned, their owner actually told all the players and coaches to resign and not come back to Athens after they lost their last Greek League game. So all of our teams right now, everything's up in the air. I thought these were like the safest teams in EuroLeague, but now the craziest drama is happening. Yeah, unbelievable. Well, we're sticking in Europe. We're staying there. We're not coming back to the States. We got Arsenal playing Chelsea in the Carabao Cup. Soccer specialist D Clear broke that down a little bit yesterday. But yeah, I mean, our number 6 is the king of Brazil, right? And, yeah, I believe in Jesus, the Arsenal number 9. So I like our chances today. Declare liked our chances today. If we lose, it doesn't matter. It's Carabao Cup. We're going for the important titles, but tune into that. That's at like 3 o'clock Eastern time. We're on a roll. We got to get this video in before 1 o'clock so everyone can see that Monaco pick, even though they'll probably lose. All my picks lost. If you remember, actually, one of the first episodes I said I tried to get them right, but most of my stuff loses. Next up in the sports world, North Carolina beat Syracuse last night. Cayenne Anthony, like watching him play, but just North Carolina was too good. I don't know if he'll be a one and done. I'd imagine he'll draw quite a bit of NIL money. I imagine he'll be back next year, probably at Syracuse. Be sick for him to like try and win at Syracuse, just following Melo's footsteps. But I don't know. How would I know? I just see what I see. So yeah. Anyways, moving on. We got challengers taking place. There was the one in San Diego last week, but now I think we're in like where are we? Well, we got Davis Cup this week. We got Davis Cup this week. Tommy Paul, Ethan Quinn, Christian Harrison, Austin Krajicek, and who am I missing? It's another younger American, Nava, the dude with 80 unforced errors and 60 winners or whatever. Yeah, anyways, Emilio. Those are the 5 representing the U.S. this week. There are challengers taking place around the world as there are every other week. So get your tennis fix. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode with Asher. He's the man. It was cool kind of listening to what he's up to. And as always, shout out to Flip J for the beat. Flip J stays making the beats, stays in the lab. Couldn't do this without Flip J. So word to Flip J for the beat. Shout out Raj. Shout out Sticky Tack. This episode was brought to you by Sticky Tack again. They saw my episode yesterday and they were like, oh, this guy needs Sticky Tack. We're sponsoring the podcast and he doesn't even have any sponsoring the show. And yeah, so they came through with some Sticky Tack, was able to hang that up. Remember, use code FIGHTIN Pacers 2025 to get your heart broken in the finals, game 7, but they will give you 25% off your first fighting order. I'm out. I got nothing else to say. Shout out Asher. Shout out Knights. Shout out Arsenal. Shout out Monaco. Peace, guys.